anywhere. You have to sit down and ask.
Hello, welcome. My name is Obeng Darko. Welcome. Today I want to share with you culture and technology. Culture and technology. Culture is an educational system for any people, and so the family we're born into, the environment, the town, the country, there's a particular culture, and much of it reflects in your productivity and how you have become and what you have become. So the environment is over half of the percentage that is responsible for what you become, whether it's financial, whether it's marital, whether it's even creativity, professional life, even in your financial life. So the culture is almost everything. It's an environment which develops us. And so if I were born in Japan, even if to the same parents, my mindset will be different from being born and being raised in Ghana. If I gave birth to people, somebody in Cote d'Ivoire, for instance, their thinking will be different. Why? Because the culture, the environment will be different. And so today we are sharing culture and technology. And there is a big thing about technology, and people think that technology will bring development and things like that. Maybe, but really, what brings intrinsic, original change of the lives of the people, the creativity, the value of the people is the culture, it's not the technology. So for instance, you give telephone to somebody, the social media, the people will put what is in them on social media. Whatever that they are made of, whatever the culture put in them is what they'll put there. So if the culture conditioned them to be truthful, to be hardworking, to be caring, to be compassionate, that's what they will do. If the culture is bringing, let's say, dishonesty, craziness, you don't care about somebody, you want to trick people for money, then that was what they are going to. So people, like they say about money is neutral. Money is neutral. It depends on who is holding that money. It's the same. Technology largely is neutral. It's the people that are using the technology. So the drive of growth is culture. In your business, the drive of growth, because the technology is created by human beings anyway. And if you look at technology, for instance, mainly part of it now is really Western culture that they are trying to fuse in everybody else in the world. So when we went to school, the course content, the models that they taught us is largely the way the Western people think. If our education, was designed or were designed on our culture, I think that we'll be far more ahead than where we are now. Because if you take any course in any of our universities, the things there, the people who produce those things, all those contents, is largely the Western culture. It's how they do their things. It's how they understand things. The other day I was reading a document, something on the internet. It's an app, and they are talking about the things that you need to look at when you are building a particular item. And I look at all the content. I said, but this is exactly how these people live, and that's why they have put these procedures there. So if you look at our lifestyle, if you go to a market, how our women interact, if you want to build a market for them, you have to pick their culture. It has to be centered on the people and how they understand and how they operate and how they live. You want to organize them around the culture. But somebody will just come and bring some standard somewhere and say, and then the thing about it is that everything African is not standard. It always has to do with everybody else but Africa. So I'm talking about culture and technology. And I say that the drive of growth. So the more you improve your personal culture, the more successful you become. It's not just that you have bought iPhones or you become successful. It's you. What time do you get up? What time do you sleep? What books do you read? How do you treat people? How do you follow your time? Those things will bring growth and development to your life. The same with the country. If you condition the people, if you train the people to live in a clean environment, to be truthful to themselves, to be conscious of what they eat, then the people, there will be growth. But the fact that you just give the people the so-called technology, iPhone and those things, that will not mean much. Because it is the culture, how the people behave, that has to be improved. If you improve that, then the people's life will improve. It's not you giving them a car or giving them the so-called better hospital. If they don't know, if it doesn't fit their culture, they will destroy it. I heard a story where they wanted these people, consultants, wanted to build some toilet facility for some village, and so they did not go to involve the people. They did not consult them. They just went there to put WCs there, and they found out that the people were not using those things. Instead of them to consult them to say that, which one do you want? And then maybe explaining them. They didn't do that, because for them, when it is the way the white man does it, it means that it is improved. It is an improvement. No, the people must always be involved in growth. So for instance, if you look at how, if you go to our villages or if you go to our towns, so even if you go to the cities, how our women, when you go to the kitchen, the things that they do, how they grind, how they tend the things that they put on. And you look at how we have the so-called kitchen that we have in our homes now, the so-called modern kitchens, which is not modern, it's just the way the Europeans do their things mainly. And you look at how our women cook or how we cook, you see that there's a serious separation. So they struggle to do a lot of the activities in this so-called modern kitchen, because a lot of them would want to sit to even prepare food. Most of these Europeans don't spend a lot of time in their kitchen, and yet that is the kind of kitchen that we are fixing in our homes. Why? That is it, because then we think that technology improvement means there will be growth. No. Or even the medicines that we are taking. If you look at most of our people, they're still very much herbally centered in terms of what they take for medicine, their lifestyle, the food that they eat. And those who adhere to these cultural things will be healthier than those who are eating McDonald's and things like that, and they call it modern. And for us, technology and modern life, it means that it's been imported from Canada, America, Australia, England, Germany, things like that. So the culture is really the one that brings growth. It's not the so-called technology. Technology organizes things, makes things faster, can do more at a time. That is the essence of technology. So you want to communicate with people, you pick a camera, you put it on, but the content is the culture, what you're putting there. So it matters what you put there. It's not just the technology is the framework, but the content is the culture. And so if the quality is not put, then the technology will just spread anything that you put in it. So whose standard is our standard? That we have to develop our own standard. If I were to develop university content, I would say that the agriculture must be centered on how our grandparents did agriculture. If you want to use the so-called modern science, develop what we knew. If it's trading, the same, develop what we know, build better structures around what we are conversant with. The seed will become a tree. It doesn't need any external force. So the culture is what you build it from. The seed will become a tree. It does not add. That baby will grow to become a big man. It will not need another tissue anywhere. So you can develop from that which you have, and it becomes organized. And so until we go to school to study all these things, but us, how we take care of the children, the newborn. Do we study those things? The way my grandmother would, maybe when I was born, the way they, they took care of it. When you go to our villages, the way they take care of the babies, the things that they do. If we start to, put those things in our schools and have value for those, respect for them, and say that these are the procedures that we have. These are the procedures that we have. Then we will grow. Then we will develop. It's not the one that they do in England. Then you put it in our nursing schools. You put it in our schools here that this is how we circumcise people. And they don't do it that way. So there's always a chasing. There's always a conflict. There's always something. So we go back and we go forward and we come back. We go forward and come back. And it's almost in everything. The way we are building our houses, the way we are building our businesses, the way we are training our children, the things that we put on our TV. We have to develop what we have. We develop from what we have. We develop from what you have. Somebody will say that, what do you put tree on your channel? If the message cannot transform our people, it will not transform anybody. And majority of our people speak the tree. My desire is not to change the world. My desire is to make sure that our people can. The best prototype is the one that you have built. So I can speak the English, maybe some people can understand it, but there's no way for me to just hide the language that we have to say that global. Global does not mean English. The Chinese, there are a lot more people who speak Chinese than probably the more people who speak English. There are more people who speak Hindi. And so don't tell me that is the word. It's not. Put Chinese and Hindi together and see how many of the world's population that don't speak English. Or come to Africa and see how many people don't speak English. And so don't say that it's English. Yes, it's widespread, but the number of people who speak that is not as you know. And so develop from where you are. Develop the culture that you have. Be proud of what you have. If you cannot, if I'm a lecturer in the university, I will speak the language. Make the people proud of what they are and who they are and what they have, and develop what they have. That's what brings development. It's not an imposition. Anything that has been imposed on any people will never develop the people. You can impose anything. One day they will react because it's not original. You build with what you have. You build with the culture that you have. And there's no way Ghanaians, no matter how well good English that we speak, or change our language, or change our names to William Johnson, or eat their food, or wear their suit and tie and watch their football, will make us English. No? We will never be English. We will be Ghanaians. We will be Nigerians. We will be Yoruba. We will be Asante. We will be Kikuyu. We will be Zulu. That's who we are. And so we have to build with that. There are a lot of things that are shared in terms of humanity, but there are things that are very special to a particular people. And so we must be proud of the culture that we have and develop it and study it. You deal with a lot of so-called professionals in our country, and they are talking about standard, and the standard is always American or English. And say, well, you see, your mind is still under colony. Your mind is still under colonization. So you think that what you have is not standard, but somebody else, what somebody else has brought is the standard, and it's amazing. And anytime that you continue to measure yourself with these so-called standards, you will always be at the bottom, and they will always be ahead of you. Change the game. It's like the football that they play. Anytime that you see they play according to the ones that they know, the complexities, the other people cannot understand it. When the coach is telling them Fabon or Faha, and the other opponent is just looking at them, they're able to change things. Why? Because there's some things that you always have that you can use for your benefit, and that's the culture that you have. That's the environment that you grew up in. So look for those things, good things that are in those environments, and build with them. You are not late just because that your things are different. I will never try to be another man, and Ghana or Nigeria will not be England or America. We have something that is within us that is good. We build with that and be proud of that. I don't have to be another person to be organized. Organization, following time, cleaning your environment. They are not unique with any people. Eating the right food, being respectful. Those are general things that any group of people who want to develop must practice. Documenting. And the thing about us is that we are not documenting a lot of the things that we have. And that's what everybody is telling us, the standards. We have our documents. We have the way we train children. We have the way we cook our food. We have the way we organize the environment. We have the way we teach a lot of things. We must put them in structured form and say that these are the standards that we operate with. These are the standards. There are a lot of businesses that have come to Africa and failed because they came with those so-called standards, and they are in a jacket form, and nobody has flexibility in them, and they don't work. You must always design your business with a culture of the people in mind. Bring your technology to do a lot of the organization, no problem. And even in every culture there's technology. What is the problem is that some cultures are not developing the very technologies that they have, or they look down upon the very technology that they have. And much of our education look down upon the technologies that we had in our culture. For instance, those who tap the palm wine people, there's a technology that they use to get the palm wine out of the palm tree. We don't document that, we don't upgrade that, we don't research into that. There are a lot of things that if we go back to say that, okay, this is how we organize, this is how we package our food, this is how we treat our water. If our education, if our engineers, doctors, our scientists were trained, our social scientists, our political people were trained to look into how we do our things and upgrade them as society changes, as society grows, as we meet more complexities and problems, then we will not have to always go and import, because the very things that we have imported all these years, we still have a lot of complexities, because every technology is built with a culture in mind. And so, my name is Kwabena Darko. I'm talking about culture and technology. And I'm saying that the drive of growth is not technology, it's the culture. If you want to change how your business is performing, it's not you changing the technology, it's changing the culture, making sure the culture is accountable, is productive, is respectful, is on the same page. Those things in a business, getting the right people with good heart. Technology can never replace people. Never. because the one that is creative is the human. AI and all those are being developed by human beings. Decisions and choices that no matter how, and they cannot kill all the human beings and the earth will be occupied by a robot, not the one that I see. So the most complex machine is the human machine. And so the human machine, everywhere the human beings have been, they have created their own culture. And if you want to develop any people, you cannot develop them by taking their culture and looking out upon their culture. And so if you want to develop your children, make sure that you don't separate them from their culture. Make them proud of their language, make them proud of their clothes, make them proud of their names, make them proud of their country, of their heritage. Make them proud. Never feel shy of your tribe, of your hometown, of your name, because you can never be great until you never feel shy of your language, of your heritage, of all those. You can never be great until you're very proud of the culture of the environment that you were born into and that you grew up in. Never. The seed in the soil is never shy of the soil, because the seed needs the soil to germinate. So the quality of the soil will have great impact on the quality of tree or plant or something that comes out of that seed. So if the seed is in conflict with the soil, then there is no life. And so when they take the seed out of the soil, there is no life. The source, the life that you have. And so those of you who have your children abroad and you don't want to bring them anywhere close to Ghana or to Nigeria, and you're Africans, you're destroying them. You're destroying them. The culture will always lead technology. The culture is always good. As a matter of fact, great companies that bring out all these technologies have strong culture, and they know they are using those cultures. That's why a lot of these Europeans will link themselves to Greek civilization and all those. Africans must also link ourselves to Kemet and to all those that the Europeans were not able to destroy. Because those are the things that make us strong. If you are an African, you think that we have never achieved anything, go and study. Again, the culture is always stronger than technology. We need technology. Technology will mobilize things, will make us, do a lot of things faster. A lot of food will be produced because you have better technology in terms of engineering on the farm. We will do a lot of things faster because of technology. And technology is not unique with any culture. It's every culture, there's technology. And so every technology that you're enjoying today is not so much independent or peculiar with any culture. Who developed the numbers? It's not the Africans. Who developed the basic science tools? It's not the Africans. How can you say that all these Africans don't understand anything in technology? We do. Somebody lied to us. And so technology is here. Culture is here. The stronger is the culture. Technology is not the drive. Technology is not the drive. Culture is the drive of growth. Culture is the drive of development. The best of humans are the ones who are responsible for where we are going. Technology. E-levy has come. They are using technology, but the people can say that I'm not going to do the transaction again. No matter how strong the technology is, you are not able to force the people. But if you develop the people to say that let's do this, it will help us, and they understand that. And the culture is said that let's all build together. That is, if it's even important, because you're leaving a lot of your resources in the hands of foreigners, and then you're tasking, you're putting a lot of pressure on your people to get money to develop. It's not the taxes that you need. Take care of the resources that you have. Make sure that those resources are benefiting your people. The culture is responsible for growth, not technology. Which Ghanaian companies are responsible for the mining, the diamond? Which Ghanaian companies are taking care of our retail or financial companies? How many billionaires and wealthy people are we coming together to create that is responsible for the wealth that we have to create? It's not so-called let's tax everybody so that develop. The countries that are telling you that they use tax to develop, they had 340 something years free people working for them. The base of their development was because they came to Africa. They can underline that, they can undermine that, they can deny that, but that is it. Until the 1450, that they stepped here, and they were here for 400 years or so, and they continue to be here. They had no resources. So a lot of the resources that you see across a lot of these European countries that you are so much fascinated with, and you go there, you come back and you bash all Africans, without the resources in Africa, and without the cruelty and advantages of the things, the complexities of the institutions that you have built, they will not be where they are. They will not be where they are. So study these things. The culture is responsible for growth, not technology. So when somebody wants to defeat you, they will use technology to attack your culture. They will not use technology to attack their technology. They will use technology to attack your culture so that you will not be proud of that culture. And the moment you lose track of that, you become a servant you become a servant. So you want to overcome any people, attack their culture. Show a lot of things on TV that conflict, and that tells them that, oh, when I went to America, I became this. When I went to here, I became this. And don't show all the good things that they have in their culture. So the culture is responsible for technology, for the growth. So once you build a strong culture, once you build the people who are proud of themselves, who have strong identity, they can build anything and they can overcome any difficulty. So we must target that. My name is Obeng Darko. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch this culture and technology. Thank you. Subscribe to this channel, share the channel with your friends and with your family. Thank you.